Good. What would you like to say?
Well, I'm all at sixes and sevens because I've been a socialist and a trade unionist all my life. You know, when I was 16 years old, I was in Cargo Fleet Steelworks in Middlesbrough, and then I used to work in ICI, and I've never voted for anybody other than the Labour Party. Over the last few elections, I've done so through gritted teeth. In 2016, 15, 16, when Corbyn was running for leadership, I felt a hope. I felt excited that we had somebody who was a socialist, who was anti-EU, who was anti-globalist, and all of this. And even my wife, being a conservative all her life, but when she saw what the right of the Labour Party were doing in trying to get rid of him and the smears and everything else, she even joined the Labour Party to try and vote for him because she had a strong sense of right and wrong. And what was going on was wrong. And so when he became leader and he fought off two kind of like coup d'etats within the party, I was, go on, get in there kind of thing. And then all of a sudden he backed Remain, and I understand that he was like forced at knife point kind of thing to back Remain, and I couldn't forgive him for that really. I could at the start, but the more it's gone on, I mean after the 2017 election and Labour did like so well with the amount of votes that they received and everything else, I thought, yeah, this is good, he's still going to honour his thing for Brexit and everything else. And then of course the Labour Party's position now is they're very much a party of Remain and everything. And I mean, our MP in Redcar, for me, is a disgrace, you know. 68% of her constituents voted to leave the European Union, and yet she's gone against her own constituency majority. And I'm stuck now. I mean, so I've seen the Labour Party support. I mean, Teesside, God, Middlesbrough, Redcar, Eston, Hartlepool, Stockton, these kind of places, Billingham, always been a Labour heartland. We haven't got one Labour-controlled council in the area, and that's all because of Brexit. And I just think they're going to get wiped out. You see, in the general election in these Labour heartlands, because of their stance over Brexit. But for me personally, and I know that the NHS is important, and I know that people suffering in poverty is important, but nothing is more important than the value and the worth of somebody's vote. And so for the first time ever, I'm going to have to vote either Brexit Party or Conservative. Now, some people that I know on my Facebook friends and on Twitter, and I'm say that you're one of my Twitter followers as I follow you. But some people on the left have called me a fascist and a this and a that and the other and so on and so forth. And it upsets me because for me there's no bigger or more important issue than democracy in this country, George. And I want, listen, you especially as a lifelong socialist yourself, do you think that I am right in voting, first of all, for democracy and the value of my vote, and that 2016 referendum result being upheld? And secondly, am I right to vote for Conservative or Brexit Party to get rid of the Labour MP who has deliberately gone against 6% of her constituents?
Well, that's the call of the night,
yes.
First of all, without any doubt, and I hope it was being listened to by Jeremy Corbyn, who I know often does listen. I hope it was being listened to by his supporters, especially the most zealous of his supporters, those that want to us all to have a blood test to show our faith in the one true religion of Corbynism. I think it's a very important call because it echoes the voice and in the voice of huge numbers of people throughout the north throughout the Midlands, throughout South Wales, throughout the Northwest even, Labour's biggest heartland, Northeast, an even bigger heartland in the past and no longer. As you say, you adumbrated all these places that no longer have Labour councillors. In Hartlepool, they elected a monkey as the directly elected mayor.
Good
they
choice.
preferred the monkey to the Labour nominee. Now, there's a reason for that. It may not always be expressed in the estimable, admirable way in which you just expressed it. It may come out in swear words. It may come out in talk that we don't like to hear at the dinner table. But it is the voice of people who feel betrayed. Now, I can't tell you how to vote or whether you're right or wrong in how you vote. That's your affair. I'm lucky. I'm going to be voting for myself. But I cannot ask anyone to vote for an MP who has spent the last 3 years trying to wreck the decision that the public in their own constituency made on Brexit in 2016. I simply can't. There will be some who can. There will be some who may, who will. But I could not ask them to do that, because I agree with you that it is an absolute betrayal of the people. Now, let me be clear. I don't believe that MPs are delegates. I don't believe that you know, Parliament is a kind of Soviet in which everyone must blindly follow the line or even the decision of their constituents. I don't believe that. If everybody in Glasgow, Hillhead, had supported the Iraq war, I would still have voted against the Iraq war. But I would have expected then to pay the political price for defying the wishes of my constituents and would have been proud to pay that price. And your MP, whoever it is, I don't want to know who it is, your MP ought to be prepared to pay the political price of deciding to completely wreck the decision that was made in 2016. And one last point before I ask Adam. It's worse than what I've just said, because in 2017, your MP was elected on a clear manifesto promise to respect and implement the Brexit referendum decision. Thus, your MP is not just acting in bad faith in betraying the Brexit decision in 2016, they're betraying their own party's electoral promise in 2017. Adam.
Well, I'd go even further. That wasn't just the call of the night. That call should be saved by every radio station, every politician, every constituent throughout the country, because what we just heard, that is the voice of England, not Middle England, not Workington man and all this other classist nonsense that the Liberals try to spew out from the cushy palaces of Fleet Street. That's the voice of authentic England, certainly outside of London. Literally, the litany that we heard about how someone toils with a decision, how one reaches that decision, and where one was politically before they came to that decision is literally the textbook of how this election is going to be fought and won. So tape record that call. That's one for the record books.
I agree. It was